Good evening, everyone. My name is Keon Taylor. I'm a personal trainer as well as a nutrition coach, and I'm here chatting with Vernette Sylvester. She's another fitness trainer and instructor, and she has over 20 years experience in training people. And some of the tools that she uses, or some of the things that she teaches people, would be consistency, developing good habits, accountability, and commitment. So, welcome, Burnett.
Thank you, Keon. Thank you so much for having me.
No
So excited.
problem. So am I. It's always a pleasure to chat with another person who's involved in fitness.
That's right. Yes, it's always nice to collaborate and to share, you know what I mean, and to engage in each other's energy as well. It's
Yes.
always to do that. Absolutely.
All right. So, tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get started in fitness?
Okay. Hi, Erica. Good evening, everyone. So I've been in the fitness industry for over 20 years, like you said. Um, it's really interesting. My background was HR, human resources. So I was, in the corporate world prior to getting into fitness. Although fitness has been part of my life in the terms of sports, I played sport, I ran track,
Yeah.
I played field hockey. I was very heavy into it in Trinidad and Tobago. That's my origin, one of my origin, I should say, right? So I was heavy into sports. And after that, university, right out of university, I went into human resources because I thought that was the field that I actually wanted to be in. And then I realized it wasn't. After 10 years in the field, I realized that it wasn't me. It just wasn't who I was. I'm I'm very much a free spirit type of person.
Got you.
I like to do my own thing. I like to do things when I want to do them. That's just me. And how I actually get into the area of training was it was at the time when 30-minute gyms were just coming into play. All women 30-minute workouts, like the curves.
Curves, yes, curves. I
Right.
remember doing it.
That's when all of that was just coming into play at that time. And in my area, they were looking for an instructor. And out of the blue, I decided to apply. I said, why not? I have no experience teaching, but let me apply anyways. And that's always been my persona. I will do something just out of the blue, right? So I applied and I went for the interview, but they were in love with my personality and they agreed to hire me and train me, to do the job. And I enjoyed it so much. I decided to get certified. I decided to get more into it, and I decided to get certified, and that's how I started training.
Got you. You mentioned track, that you did track. I've actually been following a lot of the track and field events that are going on. I saw that the under 20 Jamaican women sprinters, they broke the 4 by 100 under 20 record. Jamaica really has
Yes,
some fast sprinters.
they do. They do. They really do. They do.
What do they feed them? They said it's the yams.
Yes, yes, yes. I used to be under
Mhm.
one of the top coaches in Trinidad, Mr. Francis. Yeah, so it was good. Yes.
Good, good. Now, I know you've got a lot of experience, training individuals, and with that experience comes many conversations, whether it be with clients or people who just engage you because you're into fitness. And I know one of the things that happens to me is a lot of people say they start and then they stop, and they say they have a lot of trouble achieving some type of consistency. And it's this kind of uphill battle that they seem to be fighting all the
Yeah.
time.
Yes.
So what are some of the things you tell people, your clients or people on the whole, what things you tell them to maintain consistency?
Right. One of the main things for consistency is mindset. And we have to start with ourselves first internally. that's the first thing. You have to start with yourself internally you get into before you get into anything, any
Correct.
aspect of life that you want to get into, you have to start internally. So need to start with your mindset. You know, I mean, the way you look at things, right? Some of us, you want to make sure you want to have an open mind when you're venturing into anything new that you're going to do, because if you go into it fully without looking at it further, you're gonna stop because you're gonna get into obstacles. You're gonna find things that's gonna want to slow you down or stop you completely.
Correct.
So you definitely want to change the way you look at fitness, the way you look at exercise, the way we look at eating healthy. We want to take a good look at that, because anything you do, you should enjoy whatever it is you do.
Correct.
But that's what's going to make you want to do it over and over and over again, right? So that for me is very, very important. Because what happens when you make all these changes to you, you're gonna get overwhelmed because it's all new. Your body is changing, things are happening to you, your mind is playing tricks on you, you know, all of that. So you want to take the time, first of all, to make a plan. You want to create a plan. That's very, very important is to do.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And you mentioned, it's always good to do something fun because many times people, when it comes to losing weight, in their mind, they think that they need to do XYZ, but XYZ may not be fun for them. So, for example, going to the gym, it may not be something they want to do. They may be intimidated.
Absolutely.
So maybe they could play a sport. They could go maybe walk in, do some form of group training,
Right.
something that eventually they'll get to like, or that they will like starting off,
Right.
just to give them that motivation.
Yeah. Or start off with have with a friend. If you have someone that that you can both be accountable to, then have a
Right.
friend so that you guys would both you'd be accountable to each other. Right. So if one person says, I don't feel like doing it today, the other person would say, no, girl, come on, let's go. You need that. You can't have two people of the same like mind, who are just gonna
Correct.
say, okay, if you don't want to go, I'm not gonna go. No. Right? You gotta have someone there who's gonna lift you up. You need that.
Correct.
Someone has to be able to lift one another up. You can't both just bring each other down because one is
No,
there. You have to be able to lift the other person up. So you need that type of energy if you're going to have an accountability partner. And if that works for you, not everyone works with a partner. Some people are really good at working on their own. But for the most part, a lot of us need someone.
correct.
And,
Yeah.
so definitely dive into that. Like you said, go walking. If in the gym is not your thing, now we do online training, right? I do online training, right? We do Zoom personal training, one-on-one training. So you don't have to be with others if that shies you away.
Correct.
There's so many options, so many options.
And you mentioned mindset, which is key. Because we like the part of least resistance. You come home from work, you're tired, but you're supposed to work out that day, and you tell yourself, nah, I'm tired. So you don't work out. You come home from work planning to prepare a healthy meal because it's part of your plan, as you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But because your mindset isn't right, it's too much work, I'll just order out and get back on track the next day. But the next day, the same thing happens. So mindset is key. I'd say that's, as you mentioned, you started off with that. That's the number one thing that people, it's tough, but
Thank
it's
you, Erica.
something to be worked on.
Just reading the comments there. Thank you, Erica. Hi,
No
Haitian Bless.
problem.
See you. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. You want to make a plan because when you get into fitness, anybody that gets into fitness of any kind, it's a lifestyle change. It's a lifestyle. You're not just getting into fitness to work out today, lose 2 pounds or 5 pounds or whatever, and then you stop. No, it's continuous. It's gonna be part of who you are. So if it's part of who you are, you gotta have to make it fit in,
Correct.
right? So the best thing to do, put it on your calendar. If it's every Monday, let's say 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's at 6 o'clock, then those are your dates. That's when you're doing it. Then do it on those days and those times, right?
Correct.
Have an alternate time or day for things that may come up,
Correct.
right? But do something that's fun that you're gonna enjoy. First off, that's where you want to start. It's got to be fun. You got to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, for
Fun gets
example,
you good.
with a trainer, you want to make sure that person, your personalities match up as well. For example, right?
Correct. So do something fun, get your mindset right. And those are really, really key points in terms of con becoming consistent with respect to workouts, with respect to exercise. So, we talk a lot about consistency, but sometimes people they have triggers or something that motivates them. What would you say motivates you to get going on, to keep going, even on the days you don't feel like doing it?
Honestly, I motivate myself. I'm my biggest fan. I'm my biggest motivator. I do it for me because I know how I feel when I work out. I know what it does for me. So I'm my biggest fan. And when I work out, I smile,
Correct.
I laugh, I'm goofy, I enjoy what I do. Okay. When I go to the gym, whether it be in the gym or at home, or I go outside, like I said, I make it fun.
Correct.
Whatever it is I need to do to prepare myself, that's what I do. So I'm my biggest motivator. Trust me. I would work out by myself online and I would be having fun doing it. You know,
Yeah.
you got to, because you know what, at the end of the day, you got to depend on yourself, right? So if I'm dependent on someone else and they don't show up, am I not going to show up? Am I not going to do what I need to do for me when the results are going to be mine anyways?
Yeah.
So I'm my biggest motivator. That's it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And one of the things, that I also do to motivate myself is to create a challenge. So to challenge myself. So for example, if I lift X amount of weight today, maybe I can just increase it by just a couple more pounds
Absolutely.
and stick with that and then give myself a challenge to even increase that weight just a little bit more. If
Right.
I walked a certain distance in a certain time, then maybe I can challenge myself to walk it even faster.
Right.
Because it's something you look forward to. And a challenge is something, deep down within us, especially when we're competing against ourselves. It's something that we enjoy doing or we look forward to doing. So rather than doing the same routine every single time, we look for ways to make it more challenging. That
Right.
way, you're progressing and you're getting better.
Exactly. Exactly.
And they also said that a push-up will always be a push-up. It does it doesn't change. You just get better at doing it. It's not easier. You just get better at
Get, exactly. As you build your strength, you get better at it.
correct. Correct. What would you say, is one thing, we're just chatting here.
Yes.
So let's say someone they have a routine going, they're doing really well, they're consistent. We actually answered this question, but we're looking for maybe another way we could look at it. Because some people may not really like the challenge. So they have a routine going, they're consistent, was maybe one thing they could do to do maybe just a little bit more. Because sometimes we get in our ruts. So for example, you have someone, they go into the gym, or maybe they maybe come into your class, they're doing it, they're consistent, but they want to do a little more.
Right.
What was maybe one thing
So
somebody could do to just do a little bit?
right. So the one of the biggest thing for me, which I should have mentioned as well, one of the biggest pet peeve for me, one of the biggest thing is form. Okay, that's huge. Is your form, and that is major to determine how well you're really doing and whether or not you're actually improving what you're doing is your form, right? So that's
Correct.
one. Yeah. So that's one of the key things for me. So a lot of times, improvement might just be correcting your form, not necessarily lifting heavier weight,
Correct.
doing more. It might just be your form. So tweaking that, correcting your form with the different exercises that you're doing, that is so key and very, very important. And a lot of people ignore that major point. A lot of people ignore that, and that avoids injuries as well. And that helps you to become stronger at what it is that you're doing or trying to achieve. So the form is what you need to look at first and foremost before even moving on to something else. And the second point, apart from that, would be um, you can do the same exercise, but there's different ways to do an exercise. So there's different ways. So that would be another way of using the word challenge, or to push yourself a little further or to improve yourself, would be just changing the exercise, that the way you're doing the exercise. So there's different ways of doing one particular exercise and still and get good results. A
Correct.
lot of times you need to isolate your muscles as well. And a lot of people, again, don't do that. They do not isolate the muscles when they're doing certain exercises. They don't pay attention to what it is that's going on. And that's big and key.
That mind muscle connection. So, for example, you're doing a bicep curl, and it's easy to just do the motion, go through the motion. But when you really think about the muscle that you're actually working, you focus more and you engage the muscle more
Right.
and you do more. So without really changing much, you're not doing anything extra. You're not doing a fancy move that you saw
Right.
someone do online. You're doing a basic exercise, but you're doing it with a mindset, mind muscle connection, as well as with good form. You get
Absolutely.
all the benefits from doing the movement versus just going through the motions.
Right. Which is what I see a lot of people do, just because they want to do a certain exercise or they think they need to lift a certain amount of weight. And a lot of times I would work out without weight and I would feel the effects like if I lifted weight.
Correct.
Very,
Because
very
you could do a push up 10 different ways. One regular push up, you could do it wide, you could do it close, you could put your foot up on something, you could do
right.
it very, very close, and get
So,
a lot of benefits from it.
absolutely.
So you're just wrapping up here. What's one thing you want to leave with everyone? And you could talk about your program and what you do.
Yes, I should do that. Yes, guys. So, on a daily basis, Tuesday through Friday. So, I'm on Instagram Live at 6 a.m. I do a 30-minute low impact workout. So I encourage everyone to join me for those early birds, right? Those who get up early in the morning, want to get their workout done, out of the way. So you can join me 6 a.m. That's Tuesday to Friday normally, unless, I have some other things going on, but I usually let you know. And Monday through Friday and some weekends, I do a 10:30 a.m. body class as well. And that's a little bit more engaging, a little bit more activity going on there with that. And apart from that, I have my website, vfitnesshealth.com. Okay. I've just created that not too long ago, a few weeks back. And, I've got like programs on there that's available. So you can go on there, you can shop, right? And I have gym bags, travel bags, gym or travel bags that's available, and a couple outfits as well with my logo on there as well. That's available.
Good. So if you didn't get everything she said,
Follow me.
her info is on the flyer, right? So you're able to find her on Instagram,
Yeah.
right? So Vernette, it really was a pleasure chatting with you. We just talked about maintaining consistency, which is key if you want to achieve your fitness goal.
Yes. Thank you so much, Keon. This was a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me on. And thank you for sharing me with your audience as well. This is really, really, really nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. So Have a good evening, and to the listening audience, everyone, have a good evening.